Good morning, everyone. It's Amy with Mama Bear Blue. Welcome. It's Mondays with Mom, and I'm here with Mom.
Debbie.
She's still Debbie.
Well,
she hasn't
still
changed
Debbie,
her name.
yeah.
And if you are joining us, please give us a thumbs up and share the video out if you can. So we are going to be taking some aluminum cans. I have lots of different sizes, small and all kinds of sizes. Is my head cut off? A little bit. It's just going to stay cut off, I think. I emptied a tuna can today, and I tried to get the tuna smell out, but it's not out yet, but we'll get it out. But it's really bugging Mom. Sorry, we weren't going to talk about it, and then we did. We are going to be taking some IOD molds made with clay and some Saltwash and some different DIY paint colors, and also we're going to try out some of the Pennies from Heaven copper patina and just make these look really pretty. I think you could use these for planters. These would be great to keep my paintbrushes in, utensils. Yeah, and this one, once we do get that smell out, I'm going to have my son Eric, he pours candles. He has his own candle company, and he's going to pour a candle in this, but not until the tuna smell is out. Okay, so I started yesterday. I used the, I think this is called the primitive mold. Let's see if I can find it and show them real quick. And I use the IOD clay. This is cute. It's got a lot of little folk things and leaves. And I used the clay, and we're going to be doing that too to show you guys how to do it. And then I used some of the Tight Bond glue, and it's totally on there, and I don't think it's coming off. It's pretty. It's still the clay. The clay is just a tiny bit soft, but actually with this clay you can paint it right away, even as soon as you.
Have to wait.
You don't have to wait. So I'll be able to start on this to show you the next step, but I'm going to let Mom start working. Why don't you work on this size can, Mom?
That's a good idea.
So she's going to take some of the IOD clay. I always keep my clay wrapped up tightly after I open a new pack, and that was a new pack that we did yesterday. So you'll just want to break some off. And what can we put on yours? I think we might do yours in copper, Mom. I think that's a good size for the copper. Let's use... Let's see. Would that design be neat on that? I think so. Let's do that. This little one, and this is, I think this is Acanthus, the Acanthus mold. Ellie, if you want to drop that link for me, and the primitive mold. Okay. It's been a while since we've used clay, right? So I had a little, there was a little tiny brush for my cornstarch. Where did we put that? It was a little artist brush. Yep, it's fluffy. So you're just going to dip it in the cornstarch, and then, yep. And it's just like flouring a pan. You don't need a ton of extra, just enough to help it release out of there. So warm that clay up in your hand, and then you're going to use your thumb to kind of push it in there. And then we're going to even it out so it has a flat back. So that way it will glue carefully onto the, or properly onto the can. Acanthus and primitive. Okay, so Mom's going to start working on that, and when she gets her molds done, we're going to talk about how to glue them on. Okay, so here was yesterday's after I glued on lots from the primitive mold. So my next step then is going to be to mix up some Saltwash with a little bit of prairie gray. I think this, nope, is this weathered wood? Weathered wood. I'm going to use weathered wood and a little bit of summer crush, mix it up, and then add the Saltwash, because I want to make something that looks towards the rust color, like you know, brown with a little bit of orange. And then I may even work in some of the old 57, because you know how sometimes the like rust or copper gets that patina on it. Yeah. So let's use this little bowl and get some of this mixed up. So this again is weathered wood. You could also use layered chocolate. That's actually the one I was looking for today, and I do not have an open can of that, and I didn't see it on the shelf. So what's nice about the IOD molds is it has a little micro rim around each little image, so that kind of helps you to kind of chop off, you know, where you need to. So I'm going to pour a little bit of the weathered wood and then some of the summer crush, and just see if I can get a shade that I like. Mix that up before we get our Saltwash in there. Saltwash is just a paint additive, and it adds texture to your paint. So if you kind of need, you know, projects that have kind of that crusty, kind of old, chunky look. All right, so that just kind of lightened up that just a little bit. Yeah, I'm making a mess already. Move that out of the way. Thank you. Now I'm going to put some Saltwash in it, just a little bit until it's the right consistency that I'm wanting. And then we're going to paint it all over that can that already has the molds on it. I need a little more to make it just a little chunkier, I think. Saltwash comes in a big can like this. Ellie, if you want to link Saltwash for me, when they do have the small one, you can just link the small one. All right, we are ready. So it kind of looks like cake batter when it's ready to go. That really does look like cake batter, like a chocolate cake. Okay. Now, so back to the can that I glued the primitive molds onto. I am going to take, you doing all right over there? You doing good? Okay. Yeah, just this one end. We want to chop off just a little. See where the edge really is?
Oh, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, just press down with your thumb real hard, and then the edge will appear, and you'll know you're in the right spot. Okay. Yeah, there's some extra clay. All right, so we're going to dip into that, and then just start dabbing it on here all over. I like to use a brush that has a little bit stiffer bristles and a flat top when I'm trying to get the Saltwash onto there and into the little nooks and crannies of the molds.
I think I should try to get this out now.
Yeah, so to get it out, I like to turn it over and kind of roll it till it rolls right out of the mold. And if it's not rolling easily, kind of use your finger or the end of you want like a pick to get an edge of it to start.
Let me try this one.
Yeah, there you go. And you can just use your finger and get it the rest of the way out. It's coming, and you can just pull it then with your fingers. I'll show them a close up real quick of what it looks like. Yeah, I went on Pinterest, and there is a ton of this one is from, yeah, this was from the Acanthus, I believe. Okay, so now, Mom, we're going to take, let me get just a little bit of this on there. Actually going to take a stick, here's one, and dip into that glue. It's down to the bottom of the barrel, and it wasn't coming out of the spout. So that's the Tite Bond Quick and Thick glue we use all the time. And then kind of just spread it, like cover the whole back of your mold. But you want all of it to be covered.
Right.
And I'm going to hit this with the heat gun, but I'm going to be very careful because when you are heating up metal, it gets pretty hot. I'll eventually paint the whole can, but I wanted to get the part that had the mold. Hello, my sweet friends. So happy to see you both. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. We are using some old aluminum cans and some IOD molds and Saltwash and DIY paint and
Glue.
doing and doing a little upcycle on these cans. All right. Am I okay? I'm not going to hit you. There we go. Again, don't hold on to the can too tight because it gets pretty hot. As always, let it dry naturally if you can, but if you need to speed it up, you can use the heat gun. Yours is going to be the copper one. I already said that, right? Yeah, you're good. Now you can just glue it right to it and use your hand to press it. Don't press so hard that you like mess up the image of the clay, but enough that it's gonna anywhere on there is fine, as long as it's not like on a seam, if there is a seam. I did a video, no, that's the way I think it should go. And just make sure all your edges are completely down. And if you need more glue, yeah, it's starting to heat up. I'm going to set this down. You can stick that glue stick under it. I did a video, I think it's on my YouTube channel. Ellie, you can, if you want to link my channel, or the video actually. So it was a video about how we used, let me turn this off because it's so noisy. We used DIY paint, a few different colors to make a rust look. We're not doing that exact method today, but I think there was a few different colors you can use and make it look really cool. So I'm just going in with a little more, just where I can still really see the can. Maybe I'll put my glasses on and I can really see what I'm missing. There we go. And if you are using fresh clay and you haven't let this like start to set up overnight, just be careful about pushing your brush too hard so you don't mess up any of the detail on the molds. All right. Oh, you can link clay too, Ellie. I was trying to think of everything we're using today.
I'm not making any more.
We're going to try that one first and see how far we get.
Okay.
Just that one. We're going to do
I was going to put this back up.
copper. We're going to do some copper, but I'm thinking we're going to, before I do the copper, we're going to actually paint that in, and then the copper patina will go on last. So I think the undercoat of that one that I want to do is either just the weathered wood without the salt wash. So here's where we are so far. Hold that thought. I know it's not done, so it's in the middle yucky stage, but it'll get there. Promise. It's like, ooh, that looks kind of bad. All right. I'm going to leave this alone, starting now. Okay. I think we're just going to paint that in this without salt wash. And actually, I might...
The whole can?
Yeah, we're going to paint the whole can and the mold.
Okay.
Because I don't want to just go straight on there with copper. I want a color kind of popping through underneath. And I think this will do just fine, the weathered wood. And I might just add a tad of summer crush. So it's basically what I did there, only without the salt wash. That would look really cute in a kitchen, but all right. So that's actually a stencil brush, Mom. Let's get you a regular one of these paint pixies. Let's use that one. All right. Clean up my area here. I'm going to hit that with the heat gun again and finish off the back. Let me finish the back first. All right, let's get this dried and then we'll go on to the next step. And I'm going to be thinking through whether that's going to be the dry brush or more of the rusted look. Okay. You guys have any questions or you're watching on the replay, be sure to ask. And if you are watching the replay, I'll check the comments. Be sure to get back with you. All right, I'm going to let that dry a little more on its own. But now I've covered the whole can in the weathered wood summer crush mix. Let's move on to this guy. I think I want to use the one, here, let me grab the molds real quick, Mom. I think it's the one with all the little creatures. This one. This is called Dewdrop Pond, Ellie. This mold, if you want to drop that. So this is a really cute one. It's got like a fern leaf, a hummingbird, dragonfly, a salamander, And I'm going to get the clay. So save your aluminum cans for fun.
I will.
For fun projects. Yeah, you, well, Ellie didn't have any at her house either. I asked her before she came. Yeah, that's okay. So this fern leaf I think will look really cool sideways on that short can.
Alrighty then.
So I'm just getting this pushed in there and using my thumb to smooth that out. The clay is nice because it's moldable to whatever project you're doing. Like you can, once it comes out, it's still very pliable. You can put it right around and glue it directly. It's ready to glue right away. Okay. Just needed to get that started. There is so much detail in these molds. They're pretty. Look at that. Oop, let that little part come off, but I know. Really pretty. Okay, I'll get that glued on the can and then I'll give you guys a close-up of that. So I just go ahead and glue it straight to the can before I paint at all. I mean, you could do a coat of paint on there if you wanted, but I'm good with this. So get back to the tight bond. All right, so I have the little fern leaf on there. I'm going to show you guys what I've got. This I need a little bit hung over to the bottom, so I don't want that to make the can uneven. So I'm just going to pull that off. And there's one little piece I missed that came off my mold. Let me get that glued on. So if you're just joining us, we are using some aluminum cans to upcycle a bit. One's going to be a candle container once I get my son to pour that. And then the others will be planters probably, or the big one might be for my paintbrushes. We'll see. But we're using the clay IOD molds. I don't know if you guys can see how much detail is in that fern leaf, but that's pretty. All right, I'm going to be real careful since this is fresh clay and just freshly glued, but I'm going to carefully get some paint on here. And I think what I'll do, this might end up being copper too. I think I'll just use the paint that you were using. Well, this is the combo of weathered wood and summer crush without Saltwash. And what we're doing is just giving an undercoat. Doesn't have to be full coverage. And then on top of this, we're going to go over it with the Pennies from Heaven copper patina. So we have that undercoat on. This is the non-Saltwash mix of weathered wood and summer crush. And we have Pennies from Heaven, which is the copper patina from DIY. It's really pretty. I'll open that up. So I'm just going to dip into here. I'm going to test it on the back and just, oh yeah, it's going to be pretty. So let me see if I want to go full on coverage or if we just want to dry brush this. So dry brush is just using barely any paint. And you kind of just lightly brush over it. So I'm going to do that first and see if I like that look. And we might just leave it a copper dry brush, which I think is going to be really pretty. Also, little tip, when you are getting ready to use your recycled cans, make sure you don't have any little sharp thingies where you've cut the lid off. I did. I had a couple, and I just used my Dremel and sanded them down. So you don't want to be cutting yourself on these. So I'm just,
Wow, that's hot.
yeah, it is.
Sorry.
Yeah. You just want to lightly go over your clay with the, yeah, again, the brush that has just a little bit of the copper on it. It's almost like when you stencil and you have to offload to get it to where it's the right amount on the brush. And if there's any white still showing from the clay, just kind of pounce on that with the copper. This is cool. I'm going to want to do all the cans now, like this. A little bit more on the bottom, maybe. So there we go. I love that look. What's that? Weathered wood and summer crush together mixed. Yeah. I love that. Very cute. We'll do the same to the Fleur de Lis. And then, is this dry?
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to do the same to this too. Loving the copper today.
I keep wanting to touch that can. It's
You
hot.
can, you're ready to, you
Well,
can,
it's
no?
still a little bit
Okay,
wet
we can
right
wait.
there.
It's fine. I'm just going to try the dry brush here too. If you want to go more full copper, definitely you can just paint it all in copper. Okay, I think that's cool. So here is the one from the Dewdrop Pond. That's the fern leaf from that. Yeah, I'm really loving the copper. Okay,
Okay.
do you want to do it or you want me to do
I'll
it?
let you, 'cause
Okay.
I'm afraid I'll mess it up.
No, you're fine. You could even on these, I'm not going to do it, but if you took some dark wax later after this was dried and kind of put the dark wax down into the,
Can?
no, on the mold,
Oh, yeah.
and then wiped back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably make it look even more aged, but. Okay, let's do the one with the Fleur de Lis. I love that. So there is the Fleur de Lis. All right, now it's time to decide. I do need to dry this a second though. It's still pretty,
Wet.
yeah. All right, I think we're good to go. So we are going to dry brush white, actually vintage linen, onto this. Let me open that up, make sure it doesn't need a stir. Nope, we are good. So there are several shades of white with DIY paint. Mostly used is probably White Swan, but vintage linen is really pretty too. I would say it kind of has a gray undertone, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's move the copper plate because I don't want to mix that in, and I just want to offload a little bit. And see what we got here. Start on the back. It's going to look old, for sure. All that Saltwash texture. And I might let this dry, and then if it needs
Yeah,
one
that's
more,
better.
yeah, if it needs one more coat of the dry brush, we can do it. But I just want to lightly go over the molds.
I don't know how she thinks of these things.
Well, Pinterest helps a little bit, and then I take an idea that I see and see what I can do with the products that I have. That looks cool. It kind of looks like a big gingerbread cookie.
What?
With a gingerbread cookie with like powdered sugar on it. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I love this. So yes, we will do a class on this for sure at Farm Girl. So I will get that on the schedule. There's just a few little spots of shiny cans showing through. So what I'll do later is go back in and kind of just dab in there and fill those in. But that is cute. You'd have to go to like Costco to get cans this big though.
Well,
Right?
they have it at Walmart and Kroger.
This big?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll check it out. See what kind of food we're going to have to cook just to get the cans.
Well, it comes in green beans. You know,
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions or you're watching on the replay, thank you, Heather. I love it too. I'm excited. Let me know if you are local and want to do this in person. Be watching my Facebook page for the schedule on it, and save your your aluminum cans, tin cans. Do they still call them tin cans? Aluminum cans. I don't know.
I
Canned
call them
goods
tin
cans. And we'll get together and do that at Farm Girls. Yeah, thanks for joining us today, guys. This was a fun one. We'll get some good pictures on the Facebook page. Thanks for helping, Ellie. And we will be back next week. See you then, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.